right now. If you are looking for your soulmate or you have found your soulmate, then let us know. If you haven't, why not find them starting today? We're going to throw this on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. It's the beginning of February, and I was talking to Dr. Chapa yesterday. It's Heart Month for us all month long, and with it being Heart Month, I think it's the month of love. It's the month of Valentine's Day, and what better day to bring in the Soulmate Community. So we're doing that today. We have Jacob and Megan Rakowski in studio once again. How are y'all doing this morning?
I am doing
We are
really
doing good.
I'm excited. Y'all are here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Here,
great.
live in flesh.
It's great to be back a year later with you, my brother. Thank you for having us.
So what's been going on for you guys this year?
Do you want to start?
So we started the Soulmate Community when our daughter was born. If anyone listening right now has ever had a baby, your heart just grows 10 times the size. It grows so much bigger. I know you have kids. And we just felt God pulling us in the direction of sharing with the world the love and this beautiful family that He'd blessed us with. So we decided we wanted to share with the world how they can actually use scriptural principles, use the law of attraction, and use some of the personal development that my wife and I have gone through over the last 20 years combined to not go through all of the challenges and all of the heartbreaks that a lot of people have to go through to find that special person. And we put together a formula to help people manifest the love of their life. Then COVID happened. Then we got really busy having not having a baby, but with our baby and having a newborn. And it was a very unexpected year, but we got a lot done. We've created a lot of really, really powerful things for people to manifest their soulmate, even from home. And here we are a year later, more excited than ever. And this month in particular is a month where everyone's kind of thinking about like, hey, it'd be really nice to have that beautiful person in my life right now.
Mm-hmm. At least for the 14th, because sometimes if I notice like relationships, I even remember like even in my own life, if I'm being honest, years ago, it's like holiday season. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a relationship time. And then maybe it's not anymore. And then Valentine's Day comes around. It's like, oh, hey, but relationship time. And then, yeah. And then it's like, okay, and then not anymore. Right. So what do we do if you're looking for that special someone, the one? And I guess, is there such a thing as your soulmate? Are they out there?
Do you want to go ahead, baby?
Yeah. So when we look at the definition of soulmate, like my husband and I have different ways of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the traditional mainstream definition of soulmate is kind of just somebody that you get along with. But our understanding of it is somebody that is a part of you, and is kind of created the male and female version of the same type of original soul. So when you find this person, it's much deeper than just somebody you really like or really love. It's immediately you want to build a life with this person, create all your structures in your family together. Like you want to work together, you want to live together, all that kind of stuff. So the concept of a soulmate is much more powerful than I think people really understand. And I think people are aiming low in life because they're just looking for somebody that they get along with versus somebody to build an empire with, somebody to build like a rock solid foundation and to create this like really magical passion and love. So my husband and I decided, we need to find a way to help people who are at home, who can't leave their house, manifest, bring this person into their life through a way of, our process, which is really focused on yourself and becoming the person that you need to be to get that person.
Yeah, it's been unique for single people dating, meeting people. A lot of times it's been more apps or, hey, can we date on Zoom to get to know each other? Have y'all heard anything? Like, how are people meeting each other? I'm sure it's been difficult.
I honestly, for this past year, I've just honestly been at home so grateful. Like, wow, well, at least I've got my soulmate here with me. And just to expand a little bit more on the definition of a soulmate, if you've ever met a person where it's so comfortable and you just feel home with them immediately, And no matter how much time you spend with them, no matter how much time you guys are together, you don't get sick of each other. It's just like you could spend all day together and your values align, you click on so many things. It's almost like God, when he was creating you, actually said, like, I want to give you everything beautiful in life, including the most perfect twin person for you to spend your life with that checks all the boxes for you. And all you need to do, my child, is just become the person necessary within yourself in order to draw that person into your life. Because as David said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Mm-hmm. And when you reach that place of love within yourself, that love is then reflected back to you in your external environment by that special person coming into your life. So what have people been doing? Honestly, I really don't know, like, how you would find somebody during this time. But
our students.
Well, of course, our students. I mean, they a lot of them have gone out and met people or met people online. But the thing is, it's people do want to be at the right place at the right time, and that does matter. But it's more important about being the right version of you and being in your heart and sending out the radio frequency. Like, we're on a radio channel right now, and people who are listening to us are tuned in to KHEA Radio. But when you are living at the frequency of becoming your own soulmate first, of being love, of being that love that God has put within you, then that frequency aligns with the frequency of love outside of you, and it shows up in your life. So it can literally happen in any which one of 1,000 ways. I heard of a woman who just made a decision, I'm going to meet my soulmate. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to meet him. Next day, she was walking down the street, and she saw a man walking his dog. And she was like, wow, that's somebody I might actually want to date. And they ended up talking. And they talked for about 20 minutes, and it was almost like they felt like they were at home. And then he goes, hey, I'm actually a pilot, and I've got to take a flight next week. Would you mind watching my dog? And she goes, sure. So he shows up at her door, drops off his dog.
Yeah.
He goes for his trip on the weekend. He comes back, and then both of them realized there were a connection there. And she said, hey, do you want to come in and have a coffee? And he goes, sure, I'll do that. Her soulmate literally showed up at her door, and they've been married for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's an internal thing. You do have to be at the right place at the right time. You've got to trust God's guidances and promptings that he's giving you, but it's so much more about what happens inside of you, and then God brings things to you based on the frequency or the channel that you're living your life at, like KHEA Radio.
Okay, so we're talking about frequencies. What if you're living on a frequency that's not the best version of yourself? You're sending out, I guess, those wrong signals. Can you attract the wrong person or maybe someone who's not good for you?
I can answer that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You absolutely can. And that's one of the really critical things that we take people through, is that many times when we're growing up, we see the examples of relationships around us. And from age 0 to 7, we are completely suggestible. Everything that's happening around us becomes part of our identity. So if we grew up and our parents got divorced, or if we saw examples of relationships from our grandparents or aunts or uncles, or nobody got along, or there was abuse, we begin to take that into our self-image as a part of who we are. And as we progress through life, unless you're listening to KHEA Radio right now, you never actually stop and look back at, what are my beliefs? How did I form these beliefs? And are they serving me? If you have a belief that every relationship ends in pain, or that there's always abuse, or somebody cheats on somebody, or, you associate so much more pain with love than you do pleasure, you will actually create walls around your heart that become really, really difficult to penetrate. So anytime we do get close to the real thing, we sabotage it. We say, oh no, this is going to hurt. It's too good to be true, because our heart was hurt in the past. So instead we send out the frequency of not love, but simple connection. And based on what we've experienced in the past, tends to become a self-fulfilling prophecy and repeat itself over and over and over again. So if we send out the frequency of, whatever we've experienced in the past, we tend to experience the same thing over and over and over again. And we end our 5th or 10th relationship and we look around and we wonder, why does the same thing happen to me? It's because our GPS, our God positioning system within us, is set towards a destination that we actually don't want.
So people are probably thinking, I just have bad luck. It just happens to me. How do you break that cycle and create the best version of yourself if you've never seen it before?
Well, the first step is first understanding and also forgiveness, because what we really stress is that everything that has ever happened to you, whether you've been in an abusive relationship or attract, the same type of guy, or let's say I'm always dating losers, or I'm always dating women who are crazy or whatever it is, that has happened because there's a reason. Everything in your life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. So there's a gift in every relationship that you've ever had. It teaches you what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. So if you see the same things that are showing up for you, it's just a sign that there's something that you need to look internally and just ask yourself questions like, do I have some sort of belief that is making me only see people that are this type of way, or only attract people that are this type of way?
And then people will say, well, they're just my type. That's my type. Or that's my type of person, where they have this color hair or tattoos or no tattoos, or they work in this kind of, they at a restaurant industry or whatever it is. Whenever you're looking for your soulmate, is that such a thing? Like having, well, that's my type of person. They are a tattoo artist, or they work in the stock market. I don't know anything, right?
Absolutely. The very first step we teach in the Manifesting Your Soulmate experience, and this is so powerful because 2 days after I did this exercise that I'm about to tell you about right now, I met my wife for the very first time, and this absolutely works. If you would like to have something show up in your life, give yourself and God and life around you the clearest possible picture of what you would actually like to create, because your subconscious mind is the most powerful supercomputer in the world. It is your GPS, your God positioning system. And if you go inside of your mind and you, with intention, because your intention is law, when you pray believing you, pray knowing that you have already received it. That's a prayer intention and prayer are a very similar thing, but when you set an intention, God is listening, and what you want wants you. So I sat down, I was up late one night in Toronto, Canada, when I was 24 years old. I was tossing and turning, and many of you might have even been there before, listening right now. I was just kind of done with surface level relationships, and I really wanted to know, God, where is my special person? Where is my dream woman? I've dated around, but I'm ready for the one. I am ready for the one. Show me the money. Show me where she's at. And God said, well, do you even know who you're looking for? And I was like, kind of. She needs to be pretty. I want her to be ambitious. I want her to be funny. I'm describing my wife right now. But God said, okay, tell me exactly what you're looking for. And I said, okay. So I got out my phone and I opened up the notes section and I wrote down a 51-point list of exactly who I was looking for. Every single detail, everything I could possibly think of. I didn't want to leave any stone unturned. And what I did after that was I didn't obsess over it. I didn't open it up and go, where is she? 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 I just said, God, I trust you to bring this to me. I trust that my prayer has already been answered, even as I have asked it. And 2 days later, Megan and I met for the very first time. So within you, if you use your imagination and just think, what would the most perfect person be like for me? You're not only tapping into within you what would be the most attractive thing in the world to you, you're also tapping into the greatest version of you that you actually must become in order to attract that person into your life. And that's one of God's ways of helping us grow, is giving us such a grand vision of who we want to manifest in our life, so that in order to manifest them, in order to bring them in, we must also become that equal in our own way.
Okay, so one thing that I noticed that you said you wanted her to be ambitious, and whenever Megan was talking, she was talking about, building an empire. It sounds like when you're talking about a soulmate, you almost need a teammate to work with and together for like your goals or life or whatever, right?
It depends on what life you want to create, but personally, the church that we're at right now is Abundant Life Christian Center. For us, the life that we want to create is a life where we can make an impact and where we can, show our daughter what's possible and give others the ability to create the resources that they want for them and their families to live the life of their dreams. So what we wanted to create was not only a relationship, but we wanted to make a worldwide impact by just sharing with people what's possible. So it's very important that your values are aligned. It's very important that you love spending time together. And if you are looking to do something great, then you absolutely need a teammate. And Megan is somebody that complements all of the things that I'm not good at, she's great at. Megan's bad at absolutely nothing, but I'm really good at some things that she doesn't like to do. And we work so well together. We're awesome. I'm sure you could probably say the same about you and your wife, and anybody listening could say the same if they've got that person in their life.
Okay, so what are some, and I'm going to call them flags, and maybe there's a better word for that, because it's like, okay, well, maybe I get on their nerves. We spend too much time together. It's like, we need to take a week apart. Are those what you would consider like a warning or a flag, and maybe it's like, hey, we need to reevaluate and get on the same frequency, or do we need to even go our separate ways, or what do we do?
I'll share something real quick, but I'm going to let Megan take this one. One thing that a lot of people, us included, have learned really the value and importance of, especially this year, is time with yourself, time with your soul, and time to just be and reflect. Self-care is one of the main ways that you bring more self-love into you, and you can't give to another what you don't have within yourself. So both of us really are very conscious about making sure, even though we love spending time together, we also make sure we spend time as individuals just to refill our cup and make sure that we are bringing the best version of ourselves to the relationship.
Well, self-care, that means, when I think of that, I don't even know what it means. It may mean something to you, something to me. So I guess just giving each other time and space to be able, if she wants to go shoot guns and you want to go do yoga or whatever it is, to have that time to do that. Is that? It can mean whatever to anybody?
That's a great example. Do you want to answer that?
Self-care is the definition that you give it. So, for example, let's say a new mom or new parents, right? Self-care will look very different than somebody who's single that maybe just works and then, goes to the gym or whatever and has a lot more time. So, for example, my self-care before having a child was, baths, long walks, going to the movie theater alone, stuff like that, like doing activities alone.
I miss the movies, by the way.
I know. After having a child, when there's demand on you 24/7 for your attention and there's no time, or when you do something you get interrupted and you get frustrated, my self-care started to look like just literally make a hot cup of coffee and actually finish it before it got cold, or go to the bathroom and have no child banging on the door when I'm in the bathroom.
What's up with the kids not giving us the self-care time?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
we need to have a group conversation with all of them.
If you have a child or a baby right now, make sure they're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM, or tag your child's social media account if you're watching on there. So we need to get them
hashtag let
in
mommy
on
and daddy go to the bathroom.
Just the restroom. It's not much.
Just the restroom.
Yeah.
So that's the definition of self-care. But in terms of red flags, this is a loaded question because everything is so individual and personalized.
Yeah.
So you need to make that decision in yourself. What standard do you want from your partner? Because a red flag to somebody might be totally calm or normal to another person. So if something like infidelity or stuff like that is completely like a no-go. Like, that's it. I cannot get past this. Then that's when you need to look at the relationship and then decide if that's something that you need to end. But I mean, Jacob and I know that anything, and I know it sounds crazy, but anything can be forgiven. You just have to find that place inside yourself to understand why the person did it, and have compassion and love, because everyone does something for a reason, and most of the time it's because they don't know better, or they're acting out previous patterns that they think it's normal, So at the end of the day, like, we're all humans, we all make mistakes, but like, some people, like, red flags are, this person just wants to spend so much time with me and I just need my alone time. That's okay, because now you have the understanding, though, that you are two different types of people. One person needs solo time to recharge. The other person needs community and connection and fun time to recharge. So now that you have that understanding, then you can say, okay, if you need connection and you need like another person to recharge, then let's get you into some sort of community group or some sort of, friends or whatever. But I need to, go to a class alone or whatever it is. So let's schedule that out for me. So there's different things that you can work on. But a red flag, definitely, like, you have to look inside personally and say, like, am I gonna, like, is this something that's a make or break? And then can I, get past this or not?
So there's people that are watching on social media, and I tagged the Soulmate Community. I'm going to go back in the description of this video. If you're watching on social media, make sure we put that up there. Asking how do they get a hold of you, and they have some questions, or they want to talk or learn some more. So what's the best way to reach out?
They can either go to my personal Facebook page, which is Jacob, Jacob, and then Israel is my middle name, but it's spelled a little differently, Isreal, and then my last name, Rakowski, Rakowski, or you can go to the Soulmate Community.
Okay, so one question. You were talking about that story with the pilot and the lady, and kind of trusting. You said trusting a prompt, the Holy Spirit, an urge. I guess it's good to listen to those things. Sometimes I always wonder, is that God telling me something? Is that me? Should I go and give that person some money or talk to him, or one of those weird things? How do you know that it's a prompt? Look, for that soulmate, and is it okay if you strike out doing that?
So what I really like to tell people is that when you're making a decision, pay attention to your gut, because the gut is really where our mind wants to rationalize, but God is not a rational God. God is an infinite God. And our stomach is the place where we feel things. So what we can actually do, if you really want to know, like, should I do this or should I do this? You can actually say a little prayer. You can say, God, I would like to know, is this you talking to me? On my left hand, I'm going to feel how you communicate with me on, let's just say, going up and talking to this person or taking this trip or whatever. So I'd like to imagine that I went and talked to this person. How am I going to feel? And then it'll either feel very light, it'll feel very freeing, which where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. You're going to feel freedom. You're going to feel love. You're going to feel like acceptance. You're going to feel, it might feel like sparkly, like, ooh, I'm excited. I want to go do this. Chances are that's probably coming from a good place. On the right hand, I'm going to stick my right hand out, and I'm going to say, now I would like to feel, God, what happens if I don't take this trip, or if I don't go talk to this person, or if I don't do this. And then you feel, and it feels kind of more dense, like kind of heavy. And you're like, ooh, okay. In this example, the right hand would be fear, which is not from God. That would be me trying to get in my own way and keep myself where I am, because our mind's job is to keep us safe no matter what. Rejection equals death. To our mind, we go, and we can't be rejected. We can't be humiliated. We can't, it can't be something unexpected can't happen. So on the right hand, you would be listening to fear if you chose not to act on that. On the left hand, you would be trusting God. So it's based on a feeling that you get within yourself. And everybody is a little bit different, but that's one way that I have used personally myself to make decisions and say, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Is this really God talking to me, or is this just me? What is this here? So I think that's a really good way to determine, am I supposed to do this? Am I not supposed to do this?
Yeah, and you can use that for more than just, every decision.
Yeah.
Every decision. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Okay, so right now it is 10:33. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. Talking to the Soulmate Community. Have Jacob and Megan Rakowski. We just don't have Lily here. How is she doing?
Baby Lily is next level. That's a next
my
level baby.
gosh.
She is walking, talking, everything. And she's just a hilarious baby. Like, how some babies you can just tell, like, this is going to be a comedian baby.
Right.
Like,
She's so funny.
Yeah, she loves
That's
doing
awesome.
things to get a reaction. So
Yeah. I don't know if anyone can visualize what I'm talking about, but if you ever done a bridge, I do a bridge to build my shoulder strength and my back strength. And Lily's 13 months old. She just learned how to walk. But if you go on my Facebook right now, you can see it. She ran up to me and saw that I was bridging, and then she turned around and threw her butt right and hit me in the head and just laughed so hard. And I was like, where did you get this? And then she just laughs, and then she'll turn around, hit me in the head, stand up, and then hit me in the face with her butt again. And I'm like,
she's boxing out. I know you play basketball.
yeah, that's right. That's right. She's such a funny baby. And we personally believe that our love within us, within ourselves, for ourselves, and the love that we share between us, and the love that we've nurtured her with, and that just God has brought into our lives through her being there, has absolutely contributed to her becoming the fullest version of herself. I mean, if you have kids right now, that's another thing that we're going to create eventually as a course on, raising kids. The love that you give them while they're alive, I mean, obviously everybody knows this goes without saying, but it really is a lot more important than we really give a lot of credit to. The love that you direct to your baby when they're inside your stomach or inside, your wife's stomach, or when they're born, or just how you think about them and how you treat them and how you speak to them. Words are seed, and the mind is a garden. And what we play over and over again in our mind is a script for our life, and it becomes true. And we do our very, very best to give her the utmost love, attention, mutual respect as a human being, not trying to be the boss of her and force her to do everything. Obviously, we have to get things done, like,
accomplish a diaper change.
Or get her to bed. But we do our very, very best to just treat her with love, respect, dignity, and give her the freedom to be her own human and not be somebody that we have to make her be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I think, so today is February 3rd. Mm-hmm. We have a couple more weeks, and it's the month of love. Would y'all be open to coming back maybe even next week sometime?
Let's do it.
Or we can, and I'm going to, February 12th at 10 a.m.?
Let's go.
Okay, so that's, today's Wednesday, so a week from Friday. I'm going to put this in the calendar right now. The Soulmate Community. So if you're interested in reaching out, how can somebody reach out? And then, because we have a couple more minutes, how can somebody reach out to y'all one more time?
You can go to my Facebook, Jacob Israel Rakowski, JacobIsrael or you can go to
just type in the Soulmate
the
Community,
Soulmate Community
on Facebook.
We actually had something that we created just for the audience today.
Okay.
We had something we created just for you listening right now. So over the last year, we've created multiple digital products for people to basically self-study courses for people to go through on their own, in their own time, at home. But some of those are very, very in-depth. And for somebody just listening today, you're driving in your car, you're on your way to where you're going, and you're going, yeah, this sounds really good, but I don't have a whole lot of time to commit to this. I'm busy. Life is busy. There's so many responsibilities I have. We have created a 38-minute attraction, how the law of attraction works. Mm-hmm. You can pop this in your ears and listen to it. And I'm willing to bet that I can't guarantee it because everybody is unique and everybody's different. But there is a very, very strong chance that you could manifest more love in your life by Valentine's Day. Today is February 3rd, and if you get it right now and you start doing it over the next week or so, you could manifest more love in your life by Valentine's Day, which is 11 days from now.
How do they get it?
You go to soulmateattractionmethod.com.
Okay.
You're not going to be sticker shocked about how expensive it is. It is $12 because we really like the model of business that Elon Musk is doing. He's making, as Tesla gets better, He's not making it more expensive so he can make more money. And, he's already the most successful man in the world, but he's doing things very differently. And that's how we want to do things. As his business grows, he's making his cars less expensive and cheaper and more affordable so that everybody can have the gift that he's giving. So we're not going to make this more expensive. We have many more experiences where you can work much more closely with us and take a deep dive. And for that, it is a little bit more than $12, obviously. But this is our way of saying we want every single person in the world to have more love in their life. SoulmateAttractionMethod.com for $12.
And tell them about the bonus, the special one-line bonus.
Oh, yes. So a lot of people, they say,